Hey folks, welcome to Ballyhoo Creations, and this is the video tutorial for the Kris doll done in the hoop on your embroidery machine. Kris is, of course, Kris Kringle. This is the Santa Claus doll, but you could make him in any season in different colors and he'd still be a really cute cloth character. The Kris doll comes in 3 different sizes. The body can be stitched in a 5x7 hoop, a 6x10 hoop, or a 7x12 hoop. So you've got 3 different options, and of course the head sizes scale to the body sizes as well. This particular doll will have a wire armature, so it's posable. It's meant to be a home and holiday decor instead of a child's play toy, but if you wanted to stuff it and assemble it a little bit differently than I'm going to show you in the video, you could certainly make this a play doll as well. So let's jump in and get started. We start by hooping some cutaway stabilizer and then stitch placement stitch 1, and that tells us where to place our fabrics. So we use a stretch fabric is best for this design, and place it over those placement stitches, and then go ahead and stitch the tack down stitch followed by the eyebrows and the nose, and I did put some water soluble topper over that because it will stitch on the stretch fabric much better if you have the topper. And then after those stitches are done, I remove the topper and I'm going to stuff the nose just a little bit. You can use some tweezers or hemostats to put a tiny bit of stuffing into that nose. And I'm also going to stuff the cheeks for this character as well. Kind of work it around until you get it up in the cheeks. You want to make sure that it's not too low on the face because then it will interfere when the beard is stitched on. And I'm just pushing that stuffing down to the bottom of the nose. I don't want it up between his eyes. And then smooth the fabric out and put it back on, and it will give you a placement stitch for the beard and the hairline. I'm cutting some faux fur. I'm just cutting the backing, not the fur itself. And I'm going to place these pieces of fur over the hair and the beard area. And when you do faux fur, go ahead and pull the excess off. That's less likely to get caught under your stitches. I'm going to go ahead and use an entire piece of fur here and cover the whole face. And then you stitch down the fur with the applique border, and I'm going to cut away to reveal the face underneath. Be careful that you don't cut your bottom fabric. And there's Kris. Pulling away some excess fur, get that off of there. And if you want, you can use a pin or something to pull the fur out of the stitches if you like that look better. That's optional. I'm going to place some more topper, just a little scrap of it, over where the mouth is going to be stitched. And that way the mouth will float on top of the fur instead of get buried underneath. And there's his face. Now I'm going to take the back piece of fur and make sure that the line where the hairline is, as well as the top of the head, you want your fur to go between those lines. So I want the bottom edge to be at that horizontal line, and then the top part needs to make sure it covers the top of the head. And then another piece of skin fabric, just going to lay that over so that it overlaps that back fur by about 1 inch. You can tape that down if you want to. Then put it on the machine and we will do all of the seams. They are double stitched. Now let's assemble the head. Go ahead and take the project out of the hoop, and then on the back side of the stabilizer, let's zoom in here, you can see the placement line is actually where you can do your cutting. And I did speed up the video, you don't need to cut this fast. Just cut out on that placement line if you're using a stretch fabric that doesn't unravel. If you're using a fabric that will fray, you want to cut a little extra on the outside there. And then that flap in the back is where we're going to turn him right side out. Just pop it that way, and then that neck tab actually stays tucked inside the head. Like to just poke your finger in there and flatten that neck out. And now we're ready to stuff, and the instructions will tell you to make sure that you stuff both the front and back of that neck tab. So I'm putting a little stuffing on the front side, which would be his chin, and a little bit more stuffing between that little tab that's around my finger and the back of the head fabric there. And that way when you stick the body neck stem into the head, it won't flop forward or backward. And then you go ahead and stuff the rest of the head. Use whatever filler you like. Then you want to check and make sure that it's stuffed evenly. I've got a little hole, an area that needs more filler right there on the side. So I'm going to place a little bit more right there and fill out his cheeks. You can just do this, kind of bend it around and see if there's any areas that need extra filler. And then you want to tuck the skin colored fabric up inside that hair fur fabric. You want the fur to overlap the skin and then just pin that in place. You could use either a needle and thread to hand sew the hair and the skin together, or you could use a fabric glue. Either one works. I'm going to use a needle and thread here. And I'm using a strong button and craft thread. It's much better for hand sewing on this. And I'm just using the ladder stitch that's in the instruction document, where you go about 1/4 inch on one side, and then you cross over kind of like railroad tracks and do another 1/4 inch stitch on the other side, like on the skin side. So there's a 1/4 inch on the skin area. See that stitch there? Pull the thread up and then do the same thing over on the hair side. And as long as that thread is going straight up and down, in this case, you'll get a nice clean seam that won't show. To tie it off, I'm going to take a stitch and don't pull the thread taut. I'm going to make a loop on the right side and pass the needle through that, and then a loop on the left, pass the needle through that one too. So we pass through 2 loops, and then hold the thread with the needle as you pull up, and that's going to give us a knot right down on the surface of the fabric. It's a nice double knot right there on the surface. And then to bury the thread, I just take a long stitch, come out a couple of inches away, and then pull that thread tight and cut it down at the surface. And that way the thread is buried inside and you won't see it. Now the head's done. Let's move on to the body. For the body, you go ahead and hoop up some no-show mesh stabilizer or some other lightweight cutaway. And then the placement stitch is the first stitch that's done. Shows you where to place your fabrics. And that center line is the center seam, also where the belt will be. Those 2 little lines there are used in case you want to add suspenders, and that's not in this video. But the marks are there on the pattern. I'm going to place the shirt fabric right side up and have the bottom edge meet that center line at the waist. And then the pants fabric is going to go right side down, or right sides together, so that when you flip it, you want to make sure that it covers the feet and the right side is facing up when it's flipped. So right sides together, the pants and shirt. Put that on the machine and it's going to sew the waist seam. After the waist seam is stitched, you take the pant fabric and you just flip it down and cover the feet. And then you can stitch the tack down stitch, which will hold those fabrics together, as well as the belt and the buckle. After you've got the belt and buckle all stitched, now it's time to place the back fabrics on. I'm going to take the pant fabric and I'm going to place it right side down and then fold the top edge so that we have a nice clean seam there. You could either hand stitch this, or if you wanted to glue it, you could. Be careful what kind of glue you use. I'm going to use something called seam tape or Wonder Tape. It's a double-sided adhesive that's safe for your sewing and embroidery machine. You want to place that back pant fabric right side down, and you want the top of that hem at the waist to match up with the belt seam on the front side. Then you can just tape that in place. We don't want it shifting while we stitch. As long as you tape outside of the placement lines, then it won't be stitched through. The stitching only goes inside of those lines. And then I take the shirt fabric also right side down, and you want it to overlap the pants by about 1 inch. And then cover the whole thing with another piece of stabilizer. This way we will not have any issues with the fabric stretching out of place when we stuff the doll. Put it back on the machine and it's going to do the seams double stitched. If your presser foot on your embroidery machine is kind of low, you may want to raise it up or make sure that that pant area is kind of pressed down. Use some kind of tool like a pointer tool to hold that down. If your stabilizer kind of bubbles up like you see here, that's not a big deal. It's not going to affect the outcome of your doll at all. This is just something that happens when we have really bulky fabrics. I've got a couple of layers of fleece and scuba on here, so this is okay. It's not going to hurt anything when it's done. Another tip, if your machine has problems sewing through multiple layers of thick fabric, try a thicker needle like a size 90-14 is usually much better for sewing through fleece or felt versus the typical 75-11 we use in machine embroidery. So again, 90-14 would be a good needle for this. Now that the body's stitched, it's time to cut it out. And I'm just going to use the placement lines again, just a little outside of those lines to cut. Again, if you're using a fabric that is not a non-fray, like this stretch fabric or fleece will not fray, but if you're using some kind of woven cotton that does fray, you'll want a bigger seam allowance. So just cut everything away from the seams. And then we want to clip the inner corners, and if you have a thick fabric, like I'm using this thick fleece here, I'm going to cut each layer, like the front and back, separately instead of trying to do too much at once with these little scissors. But you want to get as close to the stitches as you can without cutting them. Under the arms, next to the neck, and between the legs. And that way when you turn it right side out, it will have nice smooth corners. The front side has the belt, and the back side has the back flap, and we need to cut through just the stabilizer, not the fabric underneath, but just cut a slit from side to side in your stabilizer so that we can get to those that back flap. And see how when you reach in there, you can see the inside, and now we're going to be able to turn it right side out. I'm going to use some long hemostats for this. It works well. Place them all the way to the tip, and then put the edge, the seam in there, and you need to pinch at the top and pull with the hemostats. I have a different video on how to turn these right side out if you need more help with that. Thick fabric can be a little unruly, especially on the smaller size dolls. Just take your time and be patient with it. They will turn right side out unless you're using just incredibly thick fabrics. If you feel like the fabric is slipping out and it won't turn right side out, you can always just push it back to the way it was and start over again, and sometimes that's all it takes. If your hemostats slip, you might rip the fabric, so make sure you have a good grip on it. Another tip is to make sure that you pull the arms and legs into the body cavity first and then turn the whole thing right side. If you try to flip the body first and then do the limbs second, it will be much harder. Then I'm using the blunt nose of the hemostats to just make sure all those seams are pushed out nicely. And then we're ready to stuff. I'm going to use a wire armature on this one. There's again a separate video that shows you how to make armatures, and this is optional. You don't need to use one, so I'm speeding this up 400%. This is 4 times faster than normal. But I'm just putting this wire armature, and that way the doll will be able to stand on its own and move its arms around. If you're not using an armature, you could use a foam hair curler in the neck for some stability, and the Jessie doll video shows how to do that. Once the armature's in, I go ahead and just add some stuffing. This is personal preference. If you want to stuff it very firmly or lightly, that's up to you. I'm just making sure that some of the areas that I want to have some definition, like the shoulders and the belly, I want those nice and round. And before I close them up, I'm going to have an extra wad of stuffing between the stabilizer and the fabric. That will give me a nice little bump for his, his cheeks. And then just tuck the shirt into the pants And you can either hand stitch like we did with the head, or you can use fabric glue. I'm going to use fabric glue this time so you can see both ways. Here's a tip for fabric glue. Make sure you always clean off the nozzle so it's nice and clean before you start using it. That's keeps the mess down. And just run a bead of glue between the 2 layers of fabric and then push that in place, and you can hold it with pins, or if you wanted to, you could just hold it for a little bit. Fabrifix glue sets up pretty quick. And then the neck stem just goes into the head. And if you don't have a wire in that neck stem, then you might need to kind of force it with a pair of hemostats or something like that. I'm not going to stitch the head on other than just putting a knot through the neck area here. And then I'm going to run that needle up through the head, all the way up, and then tie a knot at the top. And that way the head will stay on and not fall off, but I'll still be able to swivel it around so he can look in different directions. And again, this is for a home decor type of art doll, not a doll that you would give a child to play with. And that's it! Kris is finished. Yay! And of course, Kris is inspired by Santa Claus. This is Kris Kringle, and he is Santa Claus. But if you wanted to do him in different colors at a different time of year, it could be any doll that's not Santa Claus, too. He's got the posable arms. There is an additional hand that you could put on, that's optional. You could put him in different poses. So yeah, that's all there is to it. I hope this video was helpful for you, and if you have any questions, you can contact Ballyhoo Creations at ballyhoocreations.com. Go to the website and you will see a contact us at the top menu where you can send me a message, or you can go to Facebook and we have a Ballyhoo Inspiration and Support group on Facebook where you can post your question there, and either myself or one of the nice people in the group will help answer your questions. That's all there is for this doll. Thanks for watching. Have a great day and happy stitching.